ain't gonna be hidden forever, spaceman. Be quick about it.
For sure. It's what we're all about. Stop!
What are they doing here?
Nice hat.
Nice gut.
Let me help!
It seems that we have a common enemy, Zhao.
So let me get this straight. The Magister says that if we join together and fight Mr. Brevon, we get half of the Kingdom's stone's energy.
Sounds like a fair offer, does it not?
Are you kidding? My city needs way more than half.
Ha! You just want to hog the last of our reserves.
I know you feel a little jealous, but I can't help if my city is bigger than yours.
Ugh!
Hold on a minute, fellas. This is exactly what Brevon wants. For you two to fight while he gets away with all of your energy.
What difference does it make if it's Brevon or this swine?
We're marching into Shuigan whether you like it or not.
You don't have the guts.
Look!
Dragon. Kneel before the ancient beast.
Oh. You're saying that, we should work together. Oh, of course. Oh, please don't eat us.
What's that?
It couldn't have been her. Could it?
Careful what you wish for.
Lilac!
Guys!
It's really you! You came back! Where have you been? How did you do that?
I didn't do it. This little fella did.
Yeah!
It's okay, guys. This robot wasn't made by Brevon.
Oh, really?
It's a long story, but the Magister believes us now. We have his full support.
Aw, yeah! That's my girl.
My friends, we have been blessed with the seal of the dragon. We must heed its call and join together for the greater good.
Under my leadership.
You can't be serious. What can you tell us about the invaders?
Well, Brevon is a starship commander. He doesn't have as much experience fighting on the ground as you do.
Then we shall take the battle to the streets.
But we need to cross the snowfields without getting wasted.
We do have one advantage. Brevon wants the four of us dead, no matter what. If he sees us coming, we can distract him.
A diversion? Do you really think you can pull it off?
Remember all the times we distracted you?
Point taken.
What about the stone? How do we get it back?
I could modify one of my hacking devices to knock out power to the engine mainframe.
In my language,
Kill the power, get the stone back. Right?
You got it.
I hope this works. In case it doesn't, I need you to be prepared for what I might have to do.
It'll work. It has to. Would Brevon have left us alone if we hadn't tried to stop him?
He pulled that trick on you, huh?
But is it true?
Maybe, but I wouldn't trust him on it. Even if he did leave your people alone, it would only be a matter of time before his conquest affected your world.
You're right. We can't quit now.
The alien army has commenced its attack.
Give the order to your troops.
It will be done.
You ready, Caarol?
Ready to rock!
Find the commander and his pets and tear them to shreds.
And leave the brains intact if possible. I might use them for something.
Milla! Together!
Fire at will!
Let's show this green maniac how to save a planet!
And now for something completely different, as we change up the gameplay style quite considerably in this little shoot 'em up section. Really cool addition to the game to just change things up a bit. As we now get to control the prize from Lilac's excursion in the previous video, where she found this holographic dragon, which we now get to control. Pretty awesome. And as you might remember, this dragon had a nice trick up his sleeve. And yes, now we get to control the big frigging laser, which unfortunately dissipates quite quickly, but the normal spread shot, which you can trigger through the attack button, is quite handy as well. When pressing the jump button, you actually speed up to quickly get out of dodge. I find that actually not very helpful. It tends to just get me into trouble more times than it actually gets me out of it. Also good to keep in mind is that this is a holographic dragon, so you only have a very small hitbox. Like the dragon part is actually all safe to get hit by. Only Lilac is actually the part that you need to protect. So if you keep that in mind, this is actually, even though the screen tends to crowd up pretty badly, it's really easy to avoid most of the stuff if you just protect the protagonist here. If you play this stage as either Caarol or Milla, you actually play in one of those tanks you saw them riding in. And those tanks are a bit more unwieldy because, unlike the dragon, they are bound by actual gravity, as one might expect from a tank. So, you know, you have to actually jump, and their attacks aren't as great because the normal attack is just a arcing shot, which you have to aim, and the special is a flamethrower, which doesn't go as far, unfortunately. So, you know, overall those will have a bit of a more difficult time, but overall not too hard of a stage and a fun diversion. But fun can't last forever, so let's actually switch over to Caarol, who will take charge on our ground offensive. And I'm not sure why she decided to ditch the flamethrower wielding tank she was driving, but she did. And yeah, this is the penultimate stage of the game. Although the final level actually is split up into 4 sections for some reason. But yeah, this stage is arguably the most difficult one because it is by far the longest level in the game, just because that final stage is actually split up. And it is, besides being the longest, it's also full with enemies. It's very combat focused. I think there's actually a shield up there. Which I can no longer grab, I guess. Oh well, ouch. But yeah, Brevon decides to throw everything at you, and well, let's just say that Shuigan no longer has anyone doing the dishes because, well, there ain't no kitchen sinks left. Those fiery snake things, those magnet snake things, they don't actually hurt you, or at least their body doesn't, even though it looks to be on fire, but they have a drill bit at the front which does hurt you. And when they touch the ground, they actually drop a lot of rocks, which also hurt you. So you do want to be careful with them, but they're not too dangerous as long as you keep your distance. Anyway, let's explore more here and see what we can find. And now we have this dude over here. Remember in Sky Battalion as we fought Spade as Lilac? Well, if you were playing as Milla or Caarol, you would actually have fought this helicopter as a mini-boss over there. And he comes back here, and I do recommend you actually take care of him here, because he otherwise will haunt you throughout this section of the level. So, you know, just get rid of him. Just deal with him and be done with it, because otherwise he's a big nuisance. We can't have that. We don't like nuisances much. Except when we are the nuisance. And yeah, you've also got these weird block things that appear and disappear as you go on them. It's a bit an odd thing, but whatever. It's new, it's cool, so why not? I think there's also a canister somewhere in this level, or maybe even more, but I think I've already passed it and just forgot to get it. Oh well. We'll do... Oh, there it is. Never mind. Once again, I don't know what I'm talking about. And yeah, we saw that ship before. It's usually not bad news. Wait. Not sure if it's actually useful, but we'll see. Ooh, that was close. But yeah, this is a rather cool level, and we are really taking the battle now to Brevon himself. This is the penultimate level, and taking the final offense to him. And we have the advantage of, well, first of all, let me introduce you to this annoying little mechanic where we have to shoot these rockets into these barriers, these exploding barriers, which is not a big problem now, but eventually it will become a bit of an issue where well, they introduce enemies with those missiles as well. And the enemies aren't a big issue now, but later on once they become a bit of a nuisance as well. Also good to note is that the rockets don't actually hurt you, apart from the drill bit, so you want to be careful with that. But yeah, Lilac's big advantage is that Brevon once is dead. Not really sure how that works as an advantage. But oh well. At least I guess she learned. Which is a very sarcastic way of saying she didn't. Because now she not only is ready to throw away her own life, but all 4 of them. So yeah, well, way to go, Lilac. Ah, crap. I missed that shot so badly. Those shots can be easily avoided with the panic button, which is Caarol's spin kick. So, you know, might be worth to keep that in mind. And yeah, here's one example of a bit of a nuisance of an enemy. As we actually need to get rid of a barrier. Oh, we already did. Okay. Let's move on. And let's actually... I want to get off the bike here because I do not like to do this boss on the bike. Because this is a rather difficult boss. And yeah, he can be rather mean. Always keep moving away, never be in front of him. Being in front of him means certain death. Because those shots, those green pellets, they take off like 2 health in one go, so really be careful with that. He also does this, where he shoots a bit. And always be sure to be in front of a spring, especially as Caarol, because Caarol has very little air maneuverability, so you want to be sure when he swoops in that you are near a spring to give you some air. Let him go past in the background and then dodge in the air. If that hits you full frontal, that means a lot of consecutive hits and possibly death. So be careful with that. Especially Milla has a lot of... Oh crap. Has a lot of issues with this boss because, well, she only has 4 health, so one hit of it, even on normal, means half of her health is gone. And as you can see, this boss actually takes quite a bit of hits. Now there are parts where Milla can dig here, and I'm not actually sure if there's power-ups in there. I never checked. Issue is that the boss doesn't really give you enough time to actually dig there. So yeah, don't be too surprised if you play this for the first time that that boss will cause you a lot of grief and will require a couple of tries and possibly get you game over. Because yeah, it's really tough. And now we got these dudes here, and yeah, there is no friendly fire. Or I guess there is friendly fire. How does it work? I guess there is friendly fire when you do get hurt. And yeah, now we got these magnet things over here. Did I actually get hit by this dude? Thank you, man. And yeah, if you drop down from those, you do actually damage enemies as well, which is good to keep in mind for a little mini boss coming up. Which we are actually coming up already. There's these frog bots. I do tend to want to get rid of them here because those shots do arc up a bit. And they can catch you up off guard if you climb up here. And they drop a nice bunch of crystals which do end up into an extra life, which there's another one here. So here's the boss here. You can actually safely stand here and actually keep hitting him like this. But of course you can also go in it and go through it like this. Yeah, he's not too much special, but you just want to be careful with those shots. He's nothing special, but he still managed to murder me almost. As per usual. Oh my goodness. That was kind of embarrassing. But oh well. It's always one of those moments, isn't there? Let's just hope that I find some health soon, because yeah, this level is really tough. I think I actually want to do this because the magnet thingy is on the other side. And go here because there's a spaghetti thing over there. Ooh, there's another one of those frog bots. Let's find some health soon, shall we? Because I'm almost out. Oh, speak of the devil. Well. And more of this shenanigans. Although for now it's still relatively easy. We should be coming up to Milla's section, or at least the section which I decide to play with Milla. Ouch. Which is here. And introduces us to a new mechanic, the switches here, which aren't very special. Like it kind of looks mazy, but don't worry, it's very linear and it's not actually all too complicated ever. But you know, it's kind of a neat little switchy-maroo thingy. Changes things up nicely. And yeah, as Milla, we want to be very careful and take it slowly, because her limited health pool is really starting to show its ugly side in these last couple of levels. It's really getting hard to keep her alive, because most of the enemies actually take 1 or even 2 petals of health from one hit. So especially these more combat focused levels, you want to be taking it very slowly with Milla and just be a bit more defensive. Of course, unless you're a speedrunning maniac, then you would probably prefer to go fast. Some treasure chests, don't mind if we do. And we have the spike shield, so we can actually run onto spikes. Metal shield, I should say. And move on. By the way, I do, oh boy, now we have these guys again. Again, you really want to get rid of these because, yeah, otherwise more enemies will spawn and that just gets ridiculous. And way to demonstrate what you should not do, Seb. Oh boy. This Milla segment is actually post-recording because I actually got interrupted in between the recording sessions after I did Caarol. I got someone over and I disconnected the microphone at some point and forgot to connect it again before I redid the recording. So, oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, I can't emphasize enough how careful you want to be with these guys because they just mess up a lot of things. And yeah, you want to be careful with that. If you stand too close to them, you will actually, the shots will actually go through your shield, and that's just no good. By the way, I really like the background here with all of the enemies flying in. Something that I do find a shame, however, is like you've got this big battle going on. You know, suppose all the three kingdoms are engaged here, but you only really see the enemies and none of your allied forces will ever show up, and that's kind of disappointing, I find. You know, there's a lot of enemies in the background, and I think it would have been nice to see a little more engagement of the other forces as well, but oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, here is a little maze section thingy, mostly annoying because you have to dodge those shots or block them with Milla, but otherwise, you know, it is very linear. Basically, you go where you can go, you flip the switch, and then you go where you can go again to the next switch. It's never getting any complicated. There are no secret routes that I know of. It's very simple, but you know, it's a nice change of pace regardless. Ooh, shoot, don't mind if we do. And here is a bunch of barriers actually we need to fight, and yeah, there's a lot of kickback there. Like 5 blocks in a row. Think that's enough, game? Something that I actually noticed as I was playing this level back to back is that oh, by the way, this is another thing that's different. You can actually shoot. Come on, Seb, shoot. There we go. And you can also hit special and then the shots go up, but be very careful with that, because if you do and you fly to the left or right, you can actually run into your own shots and get hurt by that. So probably best to keep it pointed downwards. Although there is a enemy coming up here, another spider like the one from the first level, which does need to be shot from above. Caarol and Lilac do not get this little mechanical thing here, so you know, that's a Milla exclusive, and yeah, that to make short work of that spider boss. And Milla gets it to make this level a bit easier, and that was what I was going for earlier. The helicopter mini boss is also not in the level as Milla, and now you can actually easily get rid of these guys with Milla. And as Caarol and Lilac, you really want to get rid of these guys as well, because there's another barrier with missiles coming up, and these guys will just congregate there and just make your life very, very hard if you try to just run from them and then try to get rid of these blocks here. Another thing that I tried was actually the digging spots in the boss fight, and yes, there are actually fire shields in each digging spot, but again, you can't, there's not enough time to actually dig in between the boss's attacks. At least I didn't manage it. It actually got me killed once trying, but you didn't see that, so it didn't happen. But yeah, as Milla, you can just fly over this final bit, and that big ship in the background is actually our final destination, Brevon's main ship. And first we will have to face another boss, which is a rematch with
It's such a shame that you chose the wrong side. Enjoy the last few minutes of your pathetic lives!
Prince Dale here. Or Kingdale, I should say, I suppose. As Milla can just fly up there and hit him, but he has a shield just like Milla before him. And these dudes on the ground, they will actually drop you health to refill a bit. And each cycle, or not cycle, each time you get rid of his shield, he will drop a bunch of those eye dudes. And as Milla, you can actually dig up some shields, and you're also safe from this attack, because you can just deflect it. The other two, they will need to dodge that, and that can be a bit of a pain. Although I find this attack the most dangerous, honestly. But let's dig up another shield here, which is actually quite unique because it's invulnerability. Which makes this boss a bit of a joke as Milla, I suppose, because she can just fly up there and hit him a bunch of times and basically make him a bit of a pushover as Milla. But yeah, with her limited health, this boss can still be a bit of a problem. Although, you know, with a way to actually refill your life, I find this boss really unique and just fun. But as long as the invulnerability lasts, it might be just easiest to... there goes the invulnerability, as I say it. It might be easiest to just fly up there and smack him a bunch and just make short work of him. And yeah, his cycle is, he shoots I think 3 of those green spread shots, then one of the yellow laser things, then 3 more of those shots, and then he will come to the ground for the other 2 to make better work of him. Although, you know, the dragon boost can get up there, and Caarol can wall climb up there, so he's always accessible in the air for speedrunners, mainly, I suppose. But yeah, he's almost done, he should be dead. And the enemies can't hurt you once he's done. Anyway, that's it for this level, so what? There we go. Yeah, I love that psych out. Like, that is storytelling in the engine of the game. Awesome stuff. Anyway, join me next time as we head to the final dreadnought. Till then, the muzzle.
Spade!
I hate to disappoint you, but I'm just passing through. Have fun saving the world.
Look, I'm sorry, okay? I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing!
You still don't.
Attention, troops. Prepare for liftoff.
Listen, guys. I'll go in alone while you help the general take back the city.
Why can't we go in together?
It'll be easier this way, trust me.
But they'll have a harder time catching us if we stick together.
But that's what Brevon's expecting us to do.
Then let me go instead. You're too important to the mission.
I can't lose another crew! If something happens to you, I'm not strong enough to save you.
We'll be strong for you.
We said we were gonna help you get back the stone. We still mean it.
You're stuck with us, buddy, whether you like it or not.
As soon as you step foot into that dreadnought, you may never come out again. Are you ready to make that sacrifice?
Yeah, whatever. Let's go. We're wasting time.
Alright, here's the plan.